There is a place in Montreal. It's so small, if you didn't know it was there, you might just miss it. But it's here in the Mile End neighborhood, on a street called Rue Saint-Viateur, made most famous perhaps by Saint-Viateur Bagels, which is just down the street. But today's video is not about bagels, as much as I do love a sesame bagel with cream cheese. Today's video is about this place. S.W. Welsh. They just closed for the night, that's why the light is off. A bit symbolic perhaps, given what today's video is about. Because this bookstore is closing for good at the end of July. Yeah, I just missed it, the owner just walked rats. I almost asked that guy if he wanted to be in the video. Did you see that? Like literally as I was talking about this bookstore closed, this dad and his kid walked by and he's just saying to the kid, he's like, oh no, it closed, this is sad. And then, so it just shows you, like, I can't fake a moment like that. This place is beloved here in the Mile End neighborhood. But unfortunately, S.W. Welch's days are numbered because of the rising cost of rent, inflation, the changing neighborhood around it. This little bookstore, which has been there since 1984, is going to be giving way to something else. Now, what it will be, I don't know, but given the fact that we have Lululemon across the street, I have a feeling it won't be another used bookstore. Now, with all due respect to lovers of tight, expensive yoga pants, okay, this video is not hitting on Lululemon, but the point is, this is a very different vibe, a very different culture, shall we say, than the type of culture you get at a place like a tiny, independent bookstore. I don't know what it is about this bookstore that I like so much. I think it's because every time I go there, I just found something really unique and unexpected. Like I would find something that was by some Montreal poet I'd never heard of, or just some like strange spiritual book that just seemed to find me at the right place at the right time. A good used bookstore can have that quality of, I don't know, it just speaks to you, you know? But listen, this video is about more than just a bookstore that I happen to dig. This video is about something that's happening all over Mile End. In fact, all over Montreal. And so the battle for the soul of Montreal is like, how does a city that's cool and has prided itself in being cool because it's affordable, how does that city become more and more popular but keep the coolness factor? How does Mile End keep the reason people came to Mile End and not just turn into another generic gift store for tourists? I don't know the answer here, but I am going to finish this coffee and let's take a little bike ride to another area. I got something else to show you. Okay, YouTube, here we are. This is the corner of Saint Denis and Mont Royal Avenue in the heart of Plateau. That is an A&W's. That is a Thai Express. And that is a McDonald's. Actually, this McDonald's opened just last year, and when it did, I heard someone sarcastically call this corner the new face of Plateau. And the reason they said the new face is because Plateau used to be the neighborhood with the highest concentration of artists in all of Canada. It's a neighborhood I love. It's the reason I fell in love with Montreal is places like this. McDonald's, as convenient as it is not the reason I love this neighborhood. And if I check Google reviews, I don't think I'm the only one who feels this way. And listen, these are just some corners I know. It's not like this is the only place in the city it's happening. It's happening in Hochelaga Maisonneuve. It's happening in Verdun. It's happening in Little Italy. Oh yeah, not to mention Griffintown, which has undergone the biggest transformation of all, becoming a little Toronto. The whole city, the fabric of the city is beginning to change. And the soul of Montreal, the feeling that you can live here affordably, you can follow a career in a creative path, you can just ignore this kind of like work until you die mentality that unfortunately a lot of North America has fallen into. That lifestyle is in jeopardy. And I have seen the shift in the nearly 4 years I've been here. I've seen it begin to shift. I'm sure people who grew up in Montreal have seen it in a much greater degree. Sometimes people say that the city has completely changed and like Montreal's already lost its soul. I wouldn't go that far. I've seen the suburbs of other cities in Canada. Like Montreal is still a very cool city full of young people who are living interesting lives. But it's the future that has me a bit worried. What's going to happen to the city in the next 10 years? And so how can we support a city that's changing? How can we support a city that's becoming a bit less like this and a bit more like this? Or do you just become some old person who just complains like, well, things aren't the way they used to be? Because a city will always change, and not always in ways you might like. But is there a way to actually hold on to the soul of a place that you like? You know, at that corner I showed you 3 restaurants. I showed you McDonald's, A&W's, Thai Express. But I didn't show you the 4th corner. On that 4th corner, there's a old school diner type place that specializes in poutine and smoked meat, 2 of the specialties of Montreal. I think the solution is to keep looking for that 4th corner. If you're looking around and you're like, oh, what is happening to the city? Keep looking for that 4th corner. It is out there. There's still cool independent thrift stores and bookstores and cafes and restaurants and all the things that make Montreal so special, to me at least. In a couple months at the end of July, we're going to be one shorter. As I mentioned, that cool bookstore in the Mile End is disappearing. But every time I go there, I pick up a book. Today I got this little paper book called The History of Time. It seemed appropriate. The times are changing. This interesting little book only cost me $5. Probably a bit less than the coffees at Starbucks. And this video is not even really about like anti-corporations. Because I go to Starbucks sometimes. Like if someone sees me there and I'm drinking a cinnamon latte, I don't want you guys being like, weren't you the dude who made that video about it? I know, I'm a hypocrite. We all are sometimes. It's okay to have things you like that are fast global chains. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm not here to judge anyone. I think the bigger picture is just to be aware of the environment you move into. Because a lot of times gentrification and shifting cities, it seems to be when a huge number of people who are tourists or foreigners like move into a place, and again, like no one is trying to change a city, they're all just living their lives, but they're not always aware of what makes that place so special. I was in Lisbon recently and I saw some graffiti that said, Lisbon would be better without Wi-Fi, which is kind of like shots fired at all the digital nomads who are moving in there and gentrifying the city and changing it. Would Montreal be better without Wi-Fi? I don't know. I use Wi-Fi every day, so I can't say that. But I can tell you that cities around the world are changing and Montreal is no exception.
I think change is always good, you know, because it's part of the evolution, the creativity, and that's one of the things I love about New York, because it's not consistent, it's always changing, and for me changing is something very inspiring. That's the only downside, yeah, price up.
You can't resist change and you can't single-handedly change your city. But you can, in small choices throughout your life, help make the community around you. I mean, that's really what a neighborhood is, right? It's just a bunch of people making choices about what they want to see around them. If more people choose bikes, you get more bike lanes. If more people choose bookstores, you get more people who read books. Take a closer look at some of the signs that are posted to the street poles around the city, and you'll see that this place is still alive and well. But for how long? That's up to you. As for me, I'm hungry. And finally, for my Montreal viewers, a little update from the life of Dan. You're probably a Montreal viewer if you made it to the end of a video like this, so we're all Montrealers watching this at this point. I got 3 little updates for you. Number 1, I am going to be making more content from Montreal in addition to traveling. So sometimes I meet Montrealers on the streets and they say to me, "Oh, Dan, you're back. I thought you were in other cities and you left us." I haven't left Montreal. I still love this city. I still live in this city. But as the new travel continues to grow, I'm getting more and more views on international cities. And like travel is a big part of my life. I love traveling. So I'm going to be balancing probably like 50-50 time in Montreal, time in other cities. I hope you'll stick around for the ride. It's going to be a lot of fun. Which brings me to announcement number 2. If you have ideas for content I should do in Montreal, let me know. Send me an Instagram DM, send me an email, get in touch. Because I want to keep telling bigger and better stories about Montreal. Last summer, I did some neighborhood tours. I did some videos in Montreal which I thought were cool, but the thing about a specific neighborhood video is it only really interests people in that neighborhood. Like it's not like it doesn't reach that many people compared to some other topics. So I'd like to do some videos that are like more general interest, but are about like really cool Montreal things. Like I want to dig into these subcultures. I want to meet interesting people. I want to keep telling interesting stories. If you got any ideas, get in touch. It'd be cool to hear what people think. And finally, announcement number 3: help me pay my rent. Not by just sending me money, but like hire me. If you can send me money too, but like mostly I want to work, guys. I want to keep advancing as a filmmaker. Last summer, I filmed my first wedding. That was really cool. It was a couple who watched the channel, and I didn't share that video publicly, but they were quite happy with how it turned out, and it was a big project for me. So if anyone is getting married this summer, I could potentially handle 1 or 2 weddings. Also, like events. You guys watch my videos. Like if you like the style of videos I do, and you have some big event or something you want me to show up and film, I'm happy to figure that out with you guys. And yeah, even like if you're some local filmmaker in Montreal, you're doing some documentary stuff, like I'd always be down to connect and meet other creators in the city who are like more advanced on their filmmaking journeys, because for me, 2023, I just want to grow. I just want to advance. I just want to keep taking on bigger projects. A few months ago, I went to Ukraine, and that trip is permanently etched in my mind. It was way outside my comfort zone. It pushed my ability as a storyteller, as a filmmaker, just as a human being. Like it was pretty intense, but it showed me that I got to keep pushing past my comfort zone. I need to keep doing bigger things and seeing what is on the other side of that fear, because it's a great feeling when you accomplish it, and I want to keep doing that. And you can help me. So if any of this speaks to you, just reach out, get in touch. Yeah, let's make something happen. Other than that, I hope you enjoy the warm weather. It is finally here. Winter's over. And yeah, stay awesome, Montreal. I love you guys. Why'd I say that? I never know how to end these videos. I just start rambling, and then after a while, I'm just like, oh, gotta go.
Ooh, that's a cool shot with the grass. Look at this amazing cinematic quality. See, guys, I'm such a good filmmaker. Like, you can't get this on any other YouTube channels. Maybe I should just make a channel all about grass. Like, how cool would that be? Oh, yeah. This is good content right here.